Hi guys, welcome to my channel and to my 2019 makeup collection. Welcome to day 2. Today we are talking about my colored face products, and that includes blush, bronzer, highlight, multi-use face palettes, and my Z palette, my magnetic palette. So let's go ahead and start with bronzer. I do actually have one contour product. It was a little freebie that I got, and this is the ABH contour stick in the shade Mink, little guy like so. And then I have a mini Becca Sunlit bronzer in the shade Capri Coast. And then, carrying on with shimmery bronzers, I do have the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer, and this is in the shade Sun Kissed Bronzer. I also have the Tarte Amazonian Clay Waterproof Bronzer in the shade Park Ave Princess, little deluxe size. And then I have the Hourglass Ambient Lighting Bronzer in the shade Radiant Bronze Light. Looks like so, little swirly shenanigans. This is probably the most shimmery bronzer that I have. I would call this shimmery, whereas I would call the other ones more satin. And then I have two matte bronzers. I have the mini Hoola bronzer, which I attempted to pan. Heavy on the attempted to. And then I have the number 7 Match Made bronzer in the shade Caramel, definitely my favorite matte bronzer. So I also have bronzers in multi-use face palettes, which you will see at the end of this category. So I have 6 bronzers, 6 single bronzers and contours, and I have 10 in palettes, and so overall I have 18 bronzers and contours. Ridiculous. Alright, let's talk about blush, my favorite category, besides eyeshadow of course. I do have one stick or cream blush, if you will. This is the Ulta Lip and Cheek color stick in the shade Punchy. And then I have the Studio Makeup loose blush, and they call it Luminous Loose Blush. Looks like so. It's a mess, or I would open it for you. I have the Milani Baked Blush in the shade Luminoso. Stunning. I don't know why I'm holding them up to my cheek, but that's where they go, so there you go. I have the Ulta Mineral Blush in the shade Tiger Lily. Got that from my girl Angela. And then I have the Physicians Formula Butter Blush in the shade Vintage Rouge, definitely in my top 3 blushes. And then I have the Luminous Silk Compact Blusher from Note Cosmetics, and this is in the shade Desert Rose. Beautiful. They're all beautiful, that's why I have them. Everything's rolling around, it's mass chaos. Alright, next is the bane of my existence, this little mini NARS Orgasm blush. It's pretty, it just, you know, I tried panning it, that was a dumb idea. These are the Ambient Lighting Blush in Mood Exposure. Definitely one of my favorite blushes. Kind of a plum shade, but very light. And then we have Diffused Heat. And this is a beautiful, beautiful pink blush. And then I have 2 of these little e.l.f., I believe they call them the online only blushes, but you can get them on Ulta.com. This is the shade Berry Mary from my girl Angela. Definitely a unique shade to my collection. Touch of Plum again, which I really like. And then this is the shade Mellow Mauve. If you've been on my channel for any length of time, I rave about this. Again, probably in my top 3. Now you know my top 3. And then another one I love is this Tarte 12-Hour Amazonian Clay Blush in the shade Partay. This was the birthday gift in 2018 from 2017 from Sephora. And then I have one Clinique Cheek Pop. This was part of my birthday gift from my hubby, and I did choose the shade Fig Pop, and I really love this. It is definitely unique to my collection. This is the MAC and Patrick Star I'm Not Blushing Powder Blush Duo. This was a Mother's gift. This was a Mother's Day gift from my husband to me, this collection last year. I've got 2 shades in here, so of course you can target your brush in either shade, or you can swirl them together. I really, really love this. And then I have the Pretty Vulgar Make Them Blush in the shade Hush Blush. Got this one from BoxyCharm. Beautiful Dusty Rose shade. And then this one I haven't actually worn yet. This comes from the Wet n Wild Flights of Fancy collection. It is one of their color icon blushes in the shade Dare to Soar. I got this from my girl Angela. I just think it's pretty. And then I have a Milani powder blush in the shade Romantic Rose. Definitely a fave that you hear a lot about on YouTube. Again, a nice softer dusty rose than this Pretty Vulgar one. And then from BoxyCharm, I have the Laura Geller Baked Blush and Brighten in the shade Tropic Hues. Beautiful. I think this comes off as a corally pink with a warm shift, and I really like that. I think I'm going to wear it a ton this summer for sure. And then I have the No. 7 Powder Blusher in the shade Damson Mist. Again, a beautiful, I would call this like a magenta pink, but softer. So that is blush. So in my blush, I have 1 loose, 1 cream, and 20 pressed. Plus I have 21 in palettes. Ridiculous. So overall, I have 43 blushes, and yes, it is as staggering to me as it probably is to you. I do love blush, but I need to curate my collection of blush this year. I want it to consist of the things that I love. All right, next is highlighter. I'm gonna go through my liquids and creams real quickly. Since I don't have a glitter category because I only have one, I just put the Cover FX glitter drops in the shade Nova into my liquid highlight inventory. And then I have the Cover FX Custom Enhancer Drops. This is a little sample size in the shade Moonlight. These are like liquid metal. This is glitter, so that's kind of the difference. And then I have 3 cream highlighters. I have a little sample size of the Hourglass Vanish Stick highlighter in the shade Champagne Flash. Little tiny guy. You probably see him crop up in a project pan this year because I like to move out little thingies like that. And then I have a deluxe size of the Milk Makeup Highlight Stick, and this is in the shade Lit. Again, a really pretty champagne gold shade. And last one I really haven't tried, I don't think, and it is the First Aid Beauty Hello Fab Mango Butter Multi-Stick in the shade Champagne. Good grief. Like the title is like all over the packaging, but here it is. It's pretty darn similar to the Milk Makeup one. And that is it for liquid and cream highlighters. Into single highlighters. Oh, you single ladies. Oh, you single ladies. Okay, I couldn't resist. I have 3 Mega Glow highlighters from Wet n Wild. I have a purple one in the shade Royal Calyx. It's a purple blue shift. And then I have the shade Blossom Glow. This is the one I have probably the most dippage on, and it is the pink highlighter. It's one of very few pink highlighters in my collection, so I think that's why. And then I have the shade Precious Petals, which is the peachy shade. I have the Pixie by Petra Glowy Gossamer Duo in the shade Subtle Sunrise. This is relatively new to my collection, and this is a gold shade, and this is more of a peachy shade. And then also from Pixi, this was a blush duo in the shade Peach Honey, but I dropped it and it broke, so I repressed the two shades together, which I honestly didn't like in the beginning, and this is what I got. It's a very peachy highlighter, and I actually like it way better than the original product. And then from Physicians Formula, I have one of their butter highlighters, and this is in the shade Pink. It's interesting because this doesn't smell quite as good to me as the butter blush or the butter bronzer. It has a weird little tang smell to it, but it is a really pretty pink highlighter. It is like metallic though. And then a cult favorite, Essence Pure Nude Highlighter in the shade number 10, Be My Highlight. Definitely in my top 3. I have major dippage on mine. It's a beautiful subtle highlight. And then my last drugstore highlighter was a gift from my girl Angela. This is the Hard Candy Just Glow Rose Gold Highlighter. I love this thing. I think it's so cool that it looks like Neapolitan ice cream. You have the bronze shade, a pinky shade, and then a vanilla shade. And of course you can use them separately, or you can swirl them together and they create a beautiful rose gold shade. Diving into high-end, we have the Becca Shimmering Skin Perfector Clan here. This is Prosecco Pop. I received this in Boxy Charm. Then I also have the shade Opal. I hit pan on this in my Grey's Anatomy project. And I have Vanilla Quartz. This was a recommendation from my girl Angela, and I love it. It's very it's what I have on today, actually. I really like it. It's kind of a pinky, peachy vanilla shade. I was surprised that it would work on my skin tone, actually. And then I have the Laura Mercier Matte Radiance Baked Powder in 01 Highlight. This is a lot like the Essence Pure Nude in that it's very, very subtle. This was a winner in the JourneyInBeauty Awards this year for my subtle highlighter. And then the newest to my collection is the Laura Geller Baked Gelato Swirl Illuminator. This is Peach Glow. It's a beautiful peachy highlighter. I love a peachy highlighter because of my warm undertones. I just think it looks really flattering. And that's all of my single highlighters. So let's weigh in here. I have 2 liquid illuminators, 3 cream or stick highlighters. I have 14 singles, and I have 14 in palettes, which you'll see momentarily, for an overall total of 33 highlighters. Again, ridiculous. I need to curate this collection this year. We go face palettes. I love face palettes, whether they're multi-use or, you know, one category. So let's go ahead and get into it. I have the Anastasia Beverly Hills blush kit in the color Radiant. You get 4 blushes in here. I actually find all 4 of these to be rather unique to my collection. Next is the Urban Decay Afterglow palette, and this does have 4 highlighters in it. These are pretty nice. Need to make more use of this one this year though. Also have a Butter London Simply Sweet Blush Clutch is what it's called. If I can get it open. Looks like this. This blush is definitely unique to my collection, and I do like this, but again, I need to make more use of it this year. Then I got the Tarteist Pro Glow palette in my first FabFitFun box. I believe it was the summer one. And this comes with 4 highlights, 1 cream contour, and 1 powder bronzer. Again, I need to make use of this year. That's what my no-buy year is all about. And then we have the Tarte Clay Play Palette Volume 1. This has a bunch of eyeshadows down here, however you can, whoa, not even in frame. This does have predominantly eyeshadows down here, but you can use these lighter shades for like setting under your eyes or what have you. And then you have 3 face shades up here. And for Mother's Day, my husband picked up the Benefit blush bar for me. And you do have 1 bronzer and 4 blushes. I say blushes because Dandelion really isn't a blush for me. But it actually says that it's meant to be an all-over brightening finishing powder, so we'll see how I make use of it. Next, Has It All. This was my face palette of the year, actually, and I do stand behind that in my JourneyInBeauty Awards. This is the Revolution, the Emily Edit The Needs palette. In here you do get 1 powder, 1 bronzer, 1 blush, and 1 highlighter, and 6 eyeshadows. I definitely feel like the highlighter, which is called Gratitude, is unique to my collection. Then, like a bougie bitch here, I have the Kevyn Aucoin Neo Bronzer, and then this is in the shade Sienna. This was a Christmas gift from my hubby. It did come in a little velvet bougie bag, as I like to call it, just so you know. But the reason I wanted this is because it's kind of an all-in-one palette. Again, you can see the gradient here, and there's a bronzer, a blush, and a highlighter, and depending on where you target your brush in there, you know, you come up with different shades. And then I have the NARS Narcissist Cheek Studio palette. I shot my stash for this in December. You do have a powder contour, a bronzer, and 4 blush. And this one, I love this thing. And then I have the Hourglass Ambient Lighting Edit Unlocked. This was from Holiday 2018, and this is in my Shop My Stash for January, for this month. So I have a bronzer, 2 finishing powders, a highlight, and 2 blush. And that is my face palettes. I have
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, wait.
I do have 11 face palettes. And the last little nook or cranny in this collection video is my Tarte Magnetic palette. And she looks like this. This is the Urban Decay Sin Highlighter sample. This is the Balm Springs. This is Makeup Forever. These are Makeup Forever. This is an Ofra blush in Winter Rose. This is a gold Ofra shadow, and, you know, some randomness. I think I will be working my way slowly through this palette this year to get rid of some things. And I'm currently panning that Makeup Forever little blush sample. And that is it for this collection video. I hope you enjoyed this little peek into my collection. Feel free to request any videos down in the comments section. And I hope all of your makeup days are beautiful makeup days. And I will see you in tomorrow's video. Mwah.